Hello dear all, this is Sadanand Kumar Malik. Welcomes you all in entire physics, and today's topic is Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Actually, a scientist Heisenberg gave a principle to explain the uncertainty for a moving particle. So, according to Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, suppose a particle of mass small m is moving along a direction, suppose along x-axis, then at the same instant t for the particle, it is impossible to find its position and its momentum with accurately. Means if a particle is moving along a direction, then at the same instant it is impossible to find its position as well as momentum with accuracy. It means that if we try to find the position exactly, then the error will occur in the measurement of its momentum. And if we measure the momentum accurately, then uncertainty will be occur in the measurement of its position. So it means that according to uncertainty principle, the position and momentum of a moving particle cannot be found accurately and simultaneously. So this was the word definition of Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Now let's see how we can define it derivatively. So here, as we know, the uncertainty, suppose the uncertainty is given by del. Okay, so suppose del x is the uncertainty in position, uncertainty in position, and del p is the uncertainty in momentum, uncertainty in momentum of the particle. Then the value of uncertainty is defined as actually the product of uncertainty in position and the uncertainty in momentum is of order of the Planck's constant. Means here we can say the product of uncertainty in position and momentum will be nearly equal to the Planck's constant h, and its value is 6.6 into 10 raised to power minus 34 joule into second. So this is the uncertainty principles expression. Now let's see how we can prove the uncertainty principle. So here let us see its proof. So let us consider a particle. Let us consider a particle for which we have to prove the uncertainty principle. So of mass small m, suppose, is moving along x-axis, then if we know that in the previous topic we have already studied about the moving particle, and we know if a moving particle is taken, then a wave packet will be associated with the particle. It means that for a moving particle a wave packet will be there. So for the existence of wave packet, let us consider two waves. Just we have solved in case of the concept of wave packet, means phase velocity and group velocity. So let us consider two waves of same amplitude, means having the same amplitude, that is suppose small a, and slightly different frequencies, that is first of nu 1 and other is nu 2, moving along the same direction, moving along the same direction, then the wave equations are as we know the wave equation for these type of two waves will be given as, suppose y1 is the first wave, so amplitude A sinusoidal change sine into omega t minus kx, equation number 1. Similarly for the second wave, suppose y2 is equals to A sine omega 2t minus k2x, equation number 2, where omega 1 and omega 2, where omega 1 and omega 2 are the angular frequencies respectively. K1 and K2 are the corresponding wave number. So here we have the wave equations y1 and y2 for first and second wave. Now if we want to find their result, then we have to apply the principle of superposition. So by the principle of superposition, the resultant wave equation will be we know the resultant wave equation will be, how we can find it, by taking the algebraic sum of the individual wave equations, means y equals to y1 plus y2. Now let us substitute the value of y1 and y2. So obviously from equation 1 and 2, y1 and y2 have the term a as common, so it may be taken common, and plus we have to add sine of this plus sine of this. So let us do this. Then we have a is taken common, inside the bracket we have sine omega 1t minus k1x plus sine omega 2t minus k2x. Now let us apply the formula of trigonometry, that is, we know that since sine c plus sine d is equals to, we know, 2 sine c plus d by 2 into cos c minus d by 2. Let us apply this formula in our case. So suppose here this is c and omega 2t minus k2x as d. Then let us apply this formula. Then we have y is equals to 2a under cosec, we have sine c plus sine d, means sine c plus d, means omega 1t minus k1x plus d means omega 2t minus k2x upon 2 means whole upon 2 into cos c minus d means omega 1t minus k1x minus omega 2t minus k2x and whole upon 2. So by this way we have applied this trigonometrical formula in our case, and we have got the equation given by here. Now let us rearrange this equation. So here omega 1 and omega 2 term may be written as simultaneously and together, and k1 and k2 should be written together. Then we have y equals to 2a under cosec sine 1 plus omega 2 t is taken common, so we can write omega 1 plus omega 2 t is taken common. Similarly k1 and k2, because here minus sign and x are common to both, so let us take them common. So minus and x is taken common. Inside the bracket we have k1 plus k2, k1 plus k2, and whole upon 2 may be written as upon 2 upon 2 into, let us do this for cos term. So cos, again omega 1 omega 2 should be written together. So here we have omega 1 minus omega 2, t is taken common. Now this k1 and k2 should be written together. So here negative sign and x, negative sign and x are common. So negative sign and x are taken common. Inside the bracket we have k1 minus k2. So k1 minus k2 upon this 2. So it may be written as this upon 2 and this upon 2. So by this way we have got this type of equation. Now let us try to give a compact form to this equation. Then we have, let us consider, suppose omega 1 plus omega 2 upon 2 is equals to omega, which is giving the average value of omega 1 and omega 2. Similarly, suppose k1 plus k2 upon 2 is equals to k, which is also giving the average value of k1 and k2. Similarly, omega 1 minus omega 2 is equals to, suppose, del omega, where it gives the difference of omega 1 and omega 2. Similarly, k1 minus k2 is equals to, suppose, del k, and it also gives the difference of k1 and k2. And suppose this is the equation set 3. Now using this equation set 3, now this equation will become, so here we can write y equals to 2a, as it is inside the koshtak we have sine, and in place of this we can write omega, in place of this we can write k. So we have sine omega t minus kx into, in place of cos, because we can write del omega in place of omega 1 minus omega 2. So we have cos del omega upon 2 into t minus, in place of k1 minus k2 we can write del k. So here del k upon 2 into x. And finally we have got this type of equation, because here 2a sine cos, all the three terms are in multiplication, so we can write them anywhere. So y equals to, suppose 2a, cos term should be written first, cos del omega upon 2t minus del k upon 2x, and thereafter the sine term, that is sine omega t minus kx. Equation number 4. This is the resultant wave equation. This is the resultant wave equation having the amplitude a equals to, this bracketed term will be amplitude, because if we compare this equation with the general form of wave equation, then we have the general form of wave equation is, we know, y equals to a sine omega t minus kx, and obviously leaving the sine term, the remaining term is amplitude. Similarly, in equation 4, leaving the sine term, the remaining term means this term should be amplitude. So here resultant amplitude a will be equals to 2a into cos del omega upon 2t minus del k upon 2x. So by this way we have got the resultant amplitude of the wave packet. Now let's see how we can find the uncertainty principle in terms of x and p. So let us try to draw the wave packet for a moving particle. So suppose this is a moving particle along the direction x, and let us try to draw the shape of wave packet. So suppose this type of wave packets are formed with the moving particle, then obviously we know the points where the amplitude is 0 or the displacement along y direction is 0, these points are known as nodes. So suppose we have two nodes. Suppose first one is at the position x1 and the second node is at position x2, and suppose that this is the at the position x1 the nth node is formed, and at the position x2 suppose n plus 1th node is formed. So here that according to a scientist Max Born, okay, according to a scientist Max Born, the probability to find the particle is directly proportional to the square of amplitude of the wave packet. Means if the amplitude is high, means the perpendicular displacement is high, then suppose this is the amplitude, means perpendicular displacement is maximum here. So here the probability to find the particle is maximum. But because at this point there is some displacement also, so the particle may be found there. Again here there is some displacement along the y-axis, therefore the particle may be present there, means there should be some probability. Similarly at all the points there should be some probability, but at the position x1 and at the position x2, because the resultant amplitude, or we can say the perpendicular displacement along y direction is 0, that's why there is no probability to find the particle at position x1 and x2. So if we consider this wave packet, then we can say that the particle may be found anywhere between this wave packet, means between the position x1 and position x2 the particle may be found anywhere. So here the uncertainty in position of the particle will be the difference of x1 and x2. So here we can say that x1 minus x2 will give the uncertainty in the position of the particle. Because here what is the meaning of what refers x1 and x2? Actually x1 and x2 are the positions of nth node and n plus 1th node. So first of all we have to find the condition of formation of nodes. Okay, so let us try to find the condition of formation of nodes. Formation of nodes. Actually from this figure it is clear that a node will be formed if the amplitude, means the perpendicular displacement, is 0. Similarly the node will be formed if the perpendicular displacement means amplitude will be 0. It means that the condition for the formation of node is that this amplitude should be equal to 0. So let us try to write this. Amplitude means we have, look here beta, in equation this, suppose equation number 5. So here this is the amplitude and its value is 2a cos del omega upon 2t minus del k upon 2x. Let's write this. So 2a cos del omega upon 2t minus del k upon 2x should be equal to 0. This is the condition of formation of nodes. Obviously since 2a is not equal to 0, therefore cos of this should be equal to 0, means we can say cos del omega upon 2t minus del k upon 2x should be equal to 0. And we know cos theta will be equal to 0 when theta is equals to either pi by 2 or 3 pi by 2 or 5 pi by 2, etc. Means here we can say if theta is equals to 1, 3, 5 is the odd number, so here we can write odd number, means 2n plus 1, and pi by 2 is everywhere, so pi by 2. So we can write if theta is the odd multiple of pi by 2, then cos theta will be equal to 0. In our case theta is given by this quantity, so it should be equal to odd multiple of pi by 2, only then cos theta will be equal to 0. So we can say del omega upon 2t minus del k upon 2x should be equals to 0. So this is the condition of formation of nodes. Suppose equation number 6. Now actually we have considered two nodes, nth node and n plus 1th node. Nth node has the position x1 and n plus 1th node has the position x2, and both the nodes are formed at the same time, means nth node and n plus 1th node are formed at the same time t. Obviously means t will be constant for both of the nodes. Also both the nodes are formed at the same wave packet. Both the nodes are formed at the same wave packet. It means that their angular frequency omega and their wave number k should remains unchanged. So here in the equation we have to keep omega, k and t as unchanged. Only the position will be changed there. Let us write the condition of formation of nodes in for the nth node and n plus 1th node. For nth node we can write this equation 6 as del omega upon 2 t minus del k upon 2 now del k upon 2 for the nth node position is x1 should be equals to, because here n is the integer, so in place of n, because we are considering nth node, so n will be n there, so 2n plus 1 pi by 2. Similarly let us try to draw equation number 6 with respect to the n plus 1th node. So for n plus 1th node let us write this equation. Then obviously here this equation will be del omega upon 2t minus del k upon 2. In place of x we have to write x2, because x2 is the position of n plus 1th node, is equals to, because n is integer, so in place of for n plus 1th node we can write this n as n plus 1. So here we have 2 n plus 1 plus 1 into pi by 2. Now let us solve this. Then we have, obviously actually we have to find the uncertainty in position, and from figure it is clear that the uncertainty in position means x1 minus x2 or x2 minus x1. This is the uncertainty in position. So here we have to find x1 minus x2 or x2 minus. So let us subtract, suppose this is equation 7 and this is equation 8. Now let us subtract equation 8 by equation 7, means equation 8 minus equation 7. Then we have, obviously if we are going to subtract 7 from 8, then this term will be cancelled out, and here we have del k upon 2 with minus sign is taken common, means minus del k upon 2 is common, x2 minus x1 is equal to, on right hand side we have this term will be equal to 2n plus 3. Pi by 2 are common to both, so let us take common. Inside the bracket we have 2n plus 3 minus 2n plus 1. So here we have 2n will be cancelled out, 3 minus 1 means 2. So in the bracket we have 2 only, and here we have minus del k upon 2 under costak x2 minus x1 is equals to, this 2 will be cancelled with the denominators 2, so we have only pi. Now here we can write, multiplying this negative sign inside the bracket, then we have x1 minus x2, and let us transfer this del k by 2 to the right hand side, then we have is equals to 2 pi upon del k. Now obviously x1 minus x2 means del x, so here del x is equals to 2 pi upon, now del k, what is the meaning of del k? So let us see, because we know that k equals to wave number and its value is given as 2 pi by lambda, or is equals to 2 pi by, now lambda means de Broglie wavelength may be written as h upon p. So here we can write 2 pi p upon h, k equals to, so del k will be equals to, means change in k will be equals to 2 pi h is constant, so it cannot be changed, so here only momentum may be varied there, so del k equals to this quantity. Let us substitute this value of del k in our equation, then we have 2 pi del p upon h. Now let us solve this, then del x is equals to, now this h will go to the numerator and this 2 pi and this 2 pi will be cancelled out, so we have h upon del p. Now let us transfer this del p to the left hand side, then we have del x into del p is equal to h, and this is the uncertainty principle. This is the uncertainty principle. Because value of del x and the value of del p may vary, that's why it is not compulsory that they are exactly equal to h. So here we can write implies then del x into del p is nearly equals to h. So by this way we have proved the uncertainty principle in terms of x and p, means in terms of position and momentum.